I'm David Zokuski, Mayor of the Borough of Johnsonburg, and welcome to our town.
One day this summer, a group of volunteers from the Johnsonburg area came together with their video cameras to record the people, places, and happenings in their hometown. This is our town, Johnsonburg. Support for our town, Johnsonburg, comes from Domtar Corporation's Johnsonburg Paper Mill, an industry leader since 1888, with a dedicated workforce producing environmentally and socially responsible paper products. Domtar serves the local community and businesses around the world from Elk County, Pennsylvania. From the Area Transportation Authority, providing reliable and safe public transit to riders across 6 counties, serving senior citizens, commuters, and the disabled, and stimulating business throughout the region. ATA, rural transportation for Johnsonburg and beyond. From the Johnsonburg Chamber of Commerce, working to promote the success of local business and industry and the economic health and prosperity of Johnsonburg, Pennsylvania. From AccuGrind Incorporated, a locally owned company providing precision and production grinding of powdered metal components, serving industries nationwide from headquarters in Johnsonburg, Pennsylvania. From Constable Home Furnishings, serving Pennsylvania's northern tier with fine furnishings and floor coverings, a part of life in Johnsonburg since 1940. And from the Winery at Wilcox, crafting fine vintage, varietal, and fruit wines from a mountaintop winery where tours and tastings are offered daily. Additional locations in the Nittany Mall and the Du Bois Mall. The Winery at Wilcox, a part of the good times in our town, Johnsonburg. Additional support comes from the members of WPSU.
Johnsonburg was founded in 1810 on land purchased from Chief Corn Planter of the Seneca Indian tribe. A farmer and hunter named David Johnson and his wife built the first house, a log cabin, at the junction of the east and west branch of the Clarion River. With the coming of the railroads in 1837, a new era of development arrived to Johnsonburg, originally called Cooperstown for Benjamin Cooper, a friend of David Johnson. In 1888, a post office was established in the Rolfe area of Johnsonburg, and it was named for Matthew Quay, a prominent Pennsylvania senator. On May 6, 1891, the name Johnsonburg was officially given to the community. Johnsonburg has seen many industries over its lifetime, from tanneries, brickwork, and foundries to the timber industry. The timber and logging industry is still the mainstay of the community today. Johnsonburg has been a major paper producer since 1888 and relies on the timber industry for raw materials. The marketing of timber in one form or another was Johnsonburg's first major industry. Johnsonburg, it's a quiet community. Everybody pretty much knows everybody when you're walking down the streets. Everybody says hi to each other, whether they know them or not. The community seems to get involved in different activities, and the community helps support our town with different fundraisers. Made a huge contribution to the borough of Johnsonburg.
Hi, my name is Charlie Constable, and I did my piece on our family business, the Roy B. Constable Stores. The stores started in 1940 by my father, Melvin Constable, and my grandfather, Roy B. Constable. We've been operating in the same location for the past almost 70 years. We are in the same location, but now have expanded to 20,000 square feet of showroom space and close to 6,000 square feet of warehouse space. And at one time, we were almost a department store, selling everything from pots and pans to bed linens to sleds to toys to appliances and TVs, and have evolved in the last years to mainly furniture, floor covering, and mattresses and that. Our floor covering department itself is a couple thousand square feet, about 3 or 4 times of what the store originally started at. And different room settings of the bedroom furniture, the living room furniture. We carry over 100 recliners in stock anymore to show from. Most people are fairly impressed when they see the size of the store in the small town that we have. One of the big things in the 1940s, 50s, 60s, and even just into the early 70s was the arrival of Santa Claus in Johnsonburg. Santa Claus came to Constable stores. 700 to 800 kids would go through in 4 hours to see Santa Claus and receive a candy bar and a popcorn ball and a little present. And it was a big thing in Johnsonburg. You talk to anybody that generation. And today on the street, they'll still say, boy, Santa Claus in Johnsonburg at Constable Stores was a big thing. And he is the real Santa Claus. The big box stores are always hammering on price, and we feel we're competitive on price, but we also feel we're very competitive or actually outshine them on service. I always like to use the phrase if we install a floor covering product in your house, we just don't bring it in and lay it. We wash the windows, feed the cat, and lock the door on our way out. It's a service. And the quality of workmanship. We emphasize everything that we do, from the delivering of our furniture to our floor covering installations, that it's done correctly, and we make sure of that. What's it like living in Johnsonburg? It's a nice little town. I think we like to think we're special, but I think probably like most small towns, there's a lot of camaraderie. Everybody, knows everybody, but if something goes wrong, there's always somebody there to lend you a hand.
Hi, I'm Rachel Kielofer, and I did my video on the state parks. Our state parks in our area are beautiful year-round and very well attended. And Bendigo State Park has a pool and a playground and everything. It's like the kid destination for summertime in Johnsonburg. And it has a lot of pavilions that several families have family reunions at every summer. And, you know, this year they just put in a volleyball court and a playground, and it's very nice. It's a fishing stream there also, and it's been in existence, I guess, since like 1959, and generations have gone there. There's a kiddie pool there and a large pool, and just last year they opened the concession stand again. That was open and working when I was a child there. We used to go up there all day and order pizza and spend our day at Bendigo at the pool. The East Branch, well, it's originally the East Branch Dam. It was built in 1952 as a flood control project. It's very popular boating and fishing and docking, and there's a lot of camps up in that area. They have a very nice picnic area also that overlooks the dam. I took pictures of that also. And there's a little playground there, and they have a campground, and mostly boating and fishing. There's a lot of, up at the dam, well, in Bendigo too, you know, my church has picnics at the pavilion, and a lot of people, when they come home for the summer, visit those places, because if they're coming for a family reunion, it's a popular spot for, you know, family reunions. They have all the facilities there and things to do. And I think it's wonderful living here. I've lived here forever. It's, you know, got its challenges like all small towns do in our global world we live in now. But everybody knows everybody. But it's okay. If you live here, you know, you just become part of it, you know, and especially if you know somebody. I mean, if you're a friend or a family member of somebody that lives here, you're just part of the family.
Hi, I'm Ron King, and I did my video about the Veterans Memorials in Johnsonburg. The first one that we viewed was the newer Veterans Memorial. It was a project started by Mr. Bob Jacobs, who was involved with the American Legion. It was finished and dedicated in May of 2005. The monuments around that finished the circle in the back list the 2,276 veterans who have been involved in wars since the Civil War in Johnsonburg. The back of this monument that you see lists the 40 individuals who were killed in action during that time span, and we're very proud of that monument. The second monument we have is the Forrest Elvin Decker Memorial. That was built in the early 1920s by his father, John Decker, who founded Deckertown, and Elvin was killed in World War I in 1918. So in his honor, his family built the monument that's there at the present time. The one that's here is all that is left of the original monument that was done. We are working with groups now to try to put some more spirit and life back into that. It's probably the only dedicated World War I monument that we have seen in this part of Pennsylvania. Johnsonburg is very warm, very friendly. We seem to welcome in new people to come in. You know, you don't have to worry because you're the new guy on the block, you're not going to know anybody. That lasts probably about 2 days, and the neighbors are there and so on. So it's a very close-knit community also, very community-oriented, very personable between neighbors and the residents that move in. So just a great place to live.
I'm Rich Smith. I've lived here since 1958, and I'm doing my video on the Johnsonburg Public Library. There was a women's group, the Crescent Study Club, that in 1937 started the library, and it was in 3 rooms in the community building. Had about 3,000 books. 1982, Stackpole Carbon Company donated their no longer used factory building to the library. And we moved there, and we used 1/2 of the total building for library purposes. And right now we have a collection of over 24,000 items. Our librarian is Miss Bonnie Hogue, does a terrific job. Although one time the collection in the library was almost entirely books, now we provide many services. We have books, we have videos, we have audio books, we have computers, we have served many purposes for the community. One of our specialties is our genealogy room. We have one of the best, if not the best, collections of genealogy material in the area. We have reader printers for microfilm, and we have the entire history of the Johnsonburg Press. They all are in microfilm from 1899 to the present. We also have all of the L County Census records on microfilm. We have a lot of materials to get someone started in genealogy, books telling them how, giving instructions. And there's a collection of family histories that have been donated by people doing their genealogy. The library has, for the past 5 years, had a summer reading program. The summer reading program broken down into 4 age groups, and so activities are tailored to the particular age group. The one that we have taped for this presentation was the older group meeting, and what you'll find them doing is redoing books. Old books that are no longer of use are now making into their personal journals. One of the unique things that the Johnsonburg Library has is our dollhouse. It's a collection of dolls, probably some close to 100 years old, to the current fad, the dolls. That's opened part of the year. It's not open for the public all the time, but if anybody wants to see it, all they have to do is make a request. It was begun by Lillian Finno. She had her own doll collection, and wanting it to be preserved and people to have the benefit of it, she donated about 200 dolls to the library. Since then, we've acquired more than 100 more, and it continues to grow. And every year, from Thanksgiving to Christmas, it's open, and we have groups of students that come on a regular basis to different classes to see the dolls, and they all seem to enjoy it. And Mrs. Finno also is the hostess at that time, taking the part of Mrs. Santa Claus. Johnsonburg may be one of the friendliest towns you've ever been in. A person once told me that they came to town to work, and the first day they were there, they walked down the street and they were amazed because it seemed like they'd been there all their life. Everyone that saw them spoke to them, asked them how they were. So it's just a nice small town.
Hi, I'm Jamie Williams, and I did my video on the winery at Wilcox. In the beginning, when the winery started in '94, we were the smallest of 40 wineries. Now we are in the upper echelon, one of the larger wineries in the state. The winemaking process boiled down is this. We truck in grapes, we crush and destem them first, and then they go into a press, and that presses the juice. We clarify the juice, either by cold stability or some other fining agents. We then start the fermentation with yeast. When the fermentation is done, there's a lot of filtering and racking that's involved, and then a couple months down the road, we're into bottling and labeling. And then the hard part, the retail end, begins after that ends. I'm the vice president, but this morning I was cleaning tanks and, spraying down a bottling machine and stuff like that. And so there's quite a bit of physically demanding work that has to be done. Sometimes it's nice. I'm allowed to drink at work. Actually, it's part of my job description, which is nice. But it's certainly a lot more dirty grunt work than it is swilling wine and talking about this vintage versus that. At the winery, at the retail store, we offer tastings to anybody that comes in there, free tastings. We have 30 varieties. A few of our signature wines are, we do a port style wine of Chamberson, which is a hybrid grape variety that grows well in Pennsylvania. And the wine that we're probably most famous for is Clarion River Red, a wine that we named for the river that runs through Johnsonburg and Wilcox. It's a sweeter Concord Niagara blend, and it's certainly taken on a life of its own. The area is small, and it's cozy. It's blue collar, and there are those that might frown upon blue collar, but I know that it's a source of pride for the community. You know, we work hard, and we play hard, and everybody knows everybody, and everybody cares about the community itself. And it's just nice to know that if your kid is playing in the yard and happens down to the neighbor's yard, that they're probably just as likely to get punished at the neighbor's yard as they are at your own house, but you know that they're safe. And I don't know that you can put a price on that.
I'm Jack Fowler, and I did a video of the Johnsonburg Press. I'm the current owner of the Johnsonburg Press. The Johnsonburg Press started in 1892 as the Clarion Breeze. In 1917, the Breeze ceased publication, and the property of the Breeze became the property of Alva H. Gregory, who at that time owned the press also. Alva H. Gregory continued to publish the press until his death in 1947, at which time his son, Alva K. Gregory, along with his mother, continued the press. Mrs. Gregory passed away in 1967. At that time, my mother, Frances Fowler, started to work at the press. When Mr. Gregory passed away in 1986, at his passing, the press was left to Frances Fowler with the wish that she continue it. In 1996, she decided to semi-retire and turned the press over to myself. Our focus is on Johnsonburg. We do very little national or statewide news. We try to focus on the town, the events in town, the sports, the good and bad. Obituaries are a big part of what people look for in the press. The press today is operated by Joyce Miletto and Bev Guadalone, in addition to my mother, Frances Fowler, and myself. And we work together to get the paper out. Johnsonburg is a good place to raise a family. It's safe. The lifestyle is country or slow. Don't have the hustle and bustle of a city, but you're still close enough to cities that if you want to go shopping in the big city shopping and whatnot, you're about 2 hours away from most major cities.
My name is Lillian Finno, and I did a short history of Johnsonburg. The early paper mill really didn't come into existence until after 1880, and at that time it was Clarion Mills, and then from there it went to the Castagna Paper Company. As soon as the railroads came to Johnsonburg, which was after 1880, then we began to prosper. And we had the B&O, the Pennsylvania, and then we had one little one that went right through Johnsonburg, right through Center Street, and it was called the Branch. And it ran up to Instanner, and it ended up in Eldred. They had the little dinky, which was a little steam engine, and it would haul the logs from the stacking section of Silver Creek. We liked to hear the little tinkle bell, and the fellas would wave at us girls as they went by. A gentleman by the name of Mr. Fisher came through at the Fisher Toy Company, and he got a pattern of it. He took it to the Holgate Company in Kane, and they made a copy of the little dinky. Then, of course, going from there into the 1946, we had the Big Festa Parade, which was to honor our World War II veterans, of which Johnsonburg is very proud of. And of course, following that, in 1985, we also had another Veterans Parade, and that was also honoring the fellas. I would say that we have some of the best natural resources, the beautiful scenery. We haven't had too much crime. There are still some beautiful homes if you want to buy and live here. The paper mill is a godsend because it's one of the best industries in and around the area. You're close enough to any of the cities. If, say, you need to get something that's very big, or we're interested in doing some of the things that our little town doesn't have, but we do have, I say, enough for the person who is not interested in being high and mighty.
My name's Tom Detweiler. I'm mill manager of the paper mill in Johnsonburg, and I assisted with the video today about our paper mill, what we do, and the products we make. The mill started out in 1888. A couple of paper-making families, the Paynes and the Armstrongs from Philadelphia, came and built this mill and started as the Clarion and Highland paper mills. In 1990, Willamette Industries acquired the mill, and they were able to bring a lot of capital to the table, and it takes a lot of money to build and operate a modern pulp and paper facility. And this helped us improve our productivity greatly, to reach a better level of environmental compliance, and to become competitive in what's now a very competitive market. In 2002, the mill was acquired by the Weyerhaeuser Company, and then eventually Weyerhaeuser spun off its assets together with those of the Domtar Company to form the new Domtar Paper Company. Well, there's a reason that we make paper here in Johnsonburg, and that is, I guess if you were in the retail business, you'd call it location, location, location. We have a great wood basket. That is, we can get our main resource, which is wood fiber, at a reasonable price and in good supply. We have an adequate supply of very good water, which we need for our paper-making process. We can get to our major markets overnight. These include New Jersey, Chicago, and Washington, D.C. And, of course, we have a tradition of making paper here, so we have people who know how to do the job and do it very well. We have energy in the form of local coal that we use for about 40% of our energy load. The other 60% of our energy load comes from the glue that holds wood together, known as lignin. We have two major parts to our process here in Johnsonburg. One is the production of pulp. And what we do is we take wood chips and we soften them in a chemical cooking process to remove the fibers from the glue or the lignin that helps to hold a tree together. Those fibers are then bleached white, and they become the basis of our sheet of paper. They're the main ingredient, if you will, of paper. A lot of the rest of the paper-making process simply comes down to adding water and then taking it away again as you lay down a very uniform sheet of paper. And a paper machine is basically a water removal device to take it from that 99.5% water down to the level of water that is normally in paper, which is about 5%. Most of a paper machine, in terms of its length, is composed of hollow steel cans that we call dryer cans. The dryer cans are filled with steam, and the sheet of paper passes over the dryer cans in a serpentine fashion, and the heat is transferred to the sheet of paper, evaporates the water, and eventually dries it down to the saleable level. Most of what we make here is called uncoated freesheet. That would be the same kind of paper that you would see in copy paper, in envelopes. Every day our number 5 machine, which is our largest and most productive machine, creates a sheet of paper that's 20 feet wide that would extend approximately 1,090 miles. In a year's time, our paper mill will use almost 900,000 tons of wood chips. A lot of people think that we're out there cutting down very large trees in order to make the pulp that produces paper, but that's not true at all. What we're doing is receiving a great deal of what's called residual chips, and those chips come as a byproduct of the sawmill industry. We also chip and use undesirable species, and we use the tops of trees, the tops and branches that would otherwise be left in the woods.
My name is Andy Redmond. I also worked on a video about the Johnsonburg paper mill. The modernization of the paper mill back in the early 1990s provided a number of substantial environmental improvements to the area. The first order of business of the mill was to construct a new wastewater treatment plant facility that has greatly improved the quality of our effluent to the Clarion River, to the point where the waters directly below our discharge are approved as all-tackle trophy trout waters. The Johnsonburg Paper Mill operates a trout nursery located on-site at the mill itself. It is the only cooperative trout nursery operated by an industry in the state of Pennsylvania. We took advantage of the labor and material to construct 2 cement runs to raise 12,000 brook and rainbow trout a year. The club is managed by both active and retired employees of the mill and provide 12,000 fish a year, averaging about 12 inches each. It all made sense to provide trout into the water that you not only use for your production process, but what you discharge back into. The modernization of the paper mill also greatly improved the air emissions. We collected much more efficiently the non-condensable gases, the odorous emissions you might smell driving through a paper mill. These are collected and treated with a much higher efficiency. To improve that, we use 95% of the waste generated from mill operations beneficially instead of landfilling. This means we landfill less than 5% of the waste generated from our operations. We use it to improve poor soils, to raise the pH, to make the soils more productive, to grow better grasses, to make better wildlife habitat. So it's meant a great deal to the mill to modernize and spend that money for not only air emissions, but for solid waste emissions and wastewater emissions. Working in Johnsonburg is a neat experience. It's a challenging place to work. It's a community that an industry is set right in within the community, and it presents its challenges every day. We call it our license to operate environmentally. You have to pay attention to what you do operationally to avoid impacting the community and the environment. So it makes us focus every day on our operations and our environmental management systems.
My name is Dave Beaver, and I did my video on the Johnsonburg Senior Center. The construction of the Senior Center was started in 2003. In 2005, in April, we had our grand opening. Our Senior Center serves approximately 20 to 25 meals in the center daily. Along with that, we have a free breakfast we provide for the general public, Monday through Friday. We have approximately 30 meals we deliver to shut-in senior citizens that's not able to come into the center. We have a group of volunteers. They pack meals for the home deliveries, as well as taking care of the people who come to the center for their daily meal. Every week, we have speakers coming in to address the senior citizens, such as doctors, pharmacists, community nurses, home health care, and everything to keep the senior citizen informed of what's going on. Our senior center is self-supporting. We have fundraisers such as we run a bi-weekly bingo, bake sales, or most anything where we can raise a few dollars to help the center. Once a month or so, we have entertainment come in to entertain the people. Everyone has a terrific time. We have different bands who volunteer their time. We have dancing, jokes, just about anything. In our basement, we have a fully equipped exercise room. All the equipment was donated by individuals to the senior center, and hopefully it is really being some help to the seniors to keep fit. It's really wonderful living here in Johnsonburg. No big city hassle. It's a very friendly community.
Hi, I'm Tim Ho, and I worked on an interview with Georgianne Freeberg about Johnsonburg's oldest citizen, Mrs. Ida Johnson.
I'm 106. I will be 107 in 2 months, September 24th.
The house that Ida lives in is quite interesting in itself because it was built by her late husband. And what's unique is on the inside, there are wall murals that he painted himself.
The dining room is all hand-painted. He was interested in paintings, did a lot of beautiful things around here.
Her son, she told me in the interview, wanted her to come live with him down in Southern Virginia, and she refuses.
I don't know anyone there. And as I said before, my heart is here. And I always see people I know, and that's what I like to do, visit with them.
She seems very keen-minded, very sharp. Of course, she has slowed down due to her age.
My youngest sister lived to be 92, and I thought that was a wonderful age. I passed 92, and I'm still on the go.
She was still driving her car up till the age of 100. She was afraid that she would become a risk to other drivers on the road, so she voluntarily gave up her license. I mean, that's really saying something about her.
I love the woods around, and places you could go and relax.
Johnsburg's friendly, Johnsburg's outgoing.
It's just a homey feeling. The people it's all I've always known them. A lot that I haven't known. Give me that feeling too. Sure. Neighborliness and all.
Johnsburg's making a comeback. We had at least half a dozen new businesses, and we're having a few more businesses looking to coming into town. So we're undergoing a rebirth, if you will.
It's home. It's actually what it means. It's home. Yes, I've always liked them. People have always been nice.
Hi, my name's Walter Fitch, Superintendent, Johnsburg Area School District, and our video is about our school district, which we're very proud of.
I'm Dennis Krotzer, and I did my video about the Johnsburg Area Elementary School.
I'm Becky Kreckle, Special Education Supervisor, and I helped with the video of the Johnsonburg High School.
Our video was taken during the summer, and students and teachers, for the large part, were not available. It's kind of in disarray right now, but we'll have it ready for the first day.
During the summer, many projects are undertaking at the elementary school. Rooms were being cleaned, installing computer labs, things like that. We have students in getting tutored and so on in the summer. So again, have everything geared up, ready to go for the first day of school.
As you enter our school, you will see how proud we are of our academic students. We have an academic wall of fame, we have an awards trophy case, and we have a list of our honor students there. As you travel down the hall, you will also see the awards from our extracurricular and special service activities displayed near the cafeteria.
We have a small school district, and one of our challenges in the future is to continue to provide top quality educational programs and educational opportunities for our students. So we're looking at using technology more and more, video conferences, partnering with other school districts throughout the state of Pennsylvania to keep our kids up with what larger school districts are offering.
We have online programs for our students who are interested in advanced academics, as well as AP courses offered within the classroom.
We have accelerated reader. The students read books. They have the opportunity to get their name in what we call the Hall of Fame in our cafeteria with their name. And if you ever want to see a child's smile from ear to ear, it's when they get their name in the Hall of Fame. It's very, very impressive.
We also have a vocational agriculture program for the students who are interested in that area. In our sawmill, our students have been able to learn all about the lumbering industry. We have a skid steer that they practice working with, and we also have different industries come in to do presentations.
In a small school district, everyone knows everybody else. It's kind of like friends. Everybody knows your name, and we're very much like a family. Some of our family members are in the video. We have secretaries, some are interns, administrators, we have custodians. All of us work together for the benefit of the school district and especially the students. We love our communities, Johnsburg and Wilcox, and we consider ourselves one big family, brothers and sisters. We have our sibling rivalries at times, but at the end it all works out.
I find Johnsonburg to be a warm, caring community. I think people take care of each other in our community, and we see many acts of kindness and people who really want to be involved and to help everyone.
Johnsonburg is a very caring town. They care about their people, from the elderly all the way down to the children that I have in my building. Caring is to me, is the utmost respect that they pay that we pay to our people in town.
Hi, I'm Christine Bressler, and I did my video about the Johnsonburg Community Center.
I'm Georgianne Freeberg, and I also helped with the video of the community center.
We've been here almost 90 years in the community. It was originally built by the New York and Pennsylvania Company, which was the paper mill.
It was always part of my life, growing up on Market Street, and for all the kids going down to the playground, going into the building for the gymnastic activities, the library, which I visited regularly.
It was filled with publications that were made on paper from our paper mill and published by Curtis Publishing Company.
We had our proms there. We had dinners there, dances, the billiard room upstairs. The biggest, I think, attraction for the town would be the swimming pool and the gymnasium.
Every year we give swimming lessons, and we think it's a great base, and I think everybody should learn to swim, only for themselves. Karate class, I think it's a great thing. Children that need esteem builders, strength, agility, they really enjoy that. Sometimes it gets out a little of that aggression, sometimes to spend that energy.
I'm very proud of the memory gallery that I've created. It's very small at present, but I concentrated on the history of the town with pictures, narrations, just different aspects of the history of the town. For example, I was in charge of and wrote the narration for a quilt show, and we used all quilts of the town that had a history to them. To me, there's a joy in working with things from the past, but I want to see it used for the future.
Adult morning swim. It is a great time. It's not only a healthful activity, it is a very great social activity. If you want to know what's going on in Johnsonburg, they know what's going on. They also have the best, I always tell my ladies, you always have the best recipes of anybody I know. 4-H program is a great summer program. We've had it for the last few years. The kids come in, they do arts and crafts, and this year they did a worldwide games. They learned to play different games and stuff. The kids have a really, really good time. One of the new things we're starting is with our coffee house. They're doing an open mic and different things with that to kind of get it generating more interest in some of the younger kids.
Basically, just a beautiful building given to the town, and that's why we're trying to restore it and give it back to the town. And so we're seeing that happen, and I'm just thrilled. I love Johnsonburg, I always have. I grew up here. The town itself is such a friendly town. I appreciate it when people say, as the gentleman did last night at the band concert down at the Holy Rosary Festival, he said, you people in Johnsonburg have a jewel here. And I thought, oh, that's so good. I like that. And I feel the same way.
I like the fact that you can walk. I can walk to the bank and the post office and wherever. And you see people when you're going. And I like it. I must have. I'm still here.
Sam Golanone, and with the help of Rachel Kielhofer, we took pictures of scenes of some of my favorite streams in this area.
Going out to the streams with Sam was very nice. I was glad that he was willing to take the time because he is a resident expert on fishing. And some of his secret spots he didn't want to share.
Most of my fishing is done fly fishing, okay? I do that for one reason. I don't want to handle worms or get my fingernails dirty. You know, we have, I think, about 39 streams in this area within minutes. Now, when we had a southern president and came up fishing up here in Spruce Creek not too long ago, it was suggested to him that he'd better have a complimentary license because we did arrest a president some time ago for fishing without a license. He said, who might that be? And the executive director said to him, it was President Grant. He said, if any rascal deserved arresting, President Grant certainly deserved arresting. Okay, that's when President Carter was up here. Now that was hearsay, but knowing, I think that took place. Of course, as a fisherman, they always say,
early to bed, early to rise. Fish like hell and tell big lies, okay? But anyhow, we have a lot of acreage in lakes. In those lakes we have trout, perch, sunfish. Some of the lakes have walleyes, muskies, crappies, bass. I've been asked many times, what do you use, when do you use? And the biggest question is, when is the best time to fish? All right, the best time to fish is whenever you can. And if you are married, whenever your wife allows you to, okay? I read someplace where every day you spend fishing is another day added to the end of your life, right? It seems to be working in my case.
I'm Neil Constable, and I did my video about the Johnsonburg Fire Department. The Johnsonburg Fire Department has a very rich and long history, dating all the way back to 1891 when Armstrong Hose Company was formed at that time. Following that, in 1896, Central Hose Company was formed. And when we're going back a long time, all the way to 1910 when East End was finally formed also, and that's when the three departments formed into the Johnsonburg Fire Department in 1910. We also incorporated the ambulance into this department in 1935, and it became a part of the true Johnsonburg Fire Department in 1980. The Johnsonburg Fire Department is a brand new building, and the town is very, very proud of it. We are quite successful. When we planned for the building, it was our intention of putting together as modern a building as possible. So what we did is the 10 people that were on the committee each took 3 just recently built buildings and visited them. And that was all the way from Erie to Pittsburgh to State College and the surrounding communities that had just had a new building. Now what we did is we each took the same list of 10 questions. So we ended up with a multitude of answers for the same questions, which helped us put a guideline into the system on how we wanted our building to look. Now, we were very, very fortunate that the local paper mill was donating 3.5 acres of land to us. And what we got back out of all the questions, 300, 1,000 different answers, build it big if you got the room. And that's what we did. We're a very modern fire department. We are extremely happy with our building. We have 8 bays across the front, protecting the town with state-of-the-art engines, rescue, and ambulance services. The station is manned 12 to 16 hours a day. At the time that we consolidated and put the 3 companies into one building, the citizenry found out that we are servicing them better because now we answer the calls much more timely. And the rolling stock or the equipment gets to the calls in the order that the chiefs and the officers want them instead of just haphazardly showing up. Johnsonburg is a real quiet, beautiful little community that we're ever so pleased with. People here just love a quiet, laid-back, easygoing life, and our job is to serve and protect them through the fire department, and we're very proud to be that.
My name is Jack Fowler. I also worked on the video for the fire department. The social aspects of the fire department are a social hall, which is capable of holding up to 600 people for weddings and similar events. We also do several other events through the year, the biggest of which is the alumni reunion, which we host with Rotary. The social hall is rented almost every weekend, and during the week there are also several company functions or seminars that go on there. When we built the building, we hoped that this would be the future of the fire department, funding-wise, and so far it's worked out quite well. Johnsonburg is a really nice place to live. I would describe it as a typical small town in America. Everybody knows everyone for the most part. It's a relatively quiet town. There isn't an awful lot happens here. And it's just a nice quiet place for families and people to live.
My name is Renee Patrick.
And my name is Thea Disler.
And our project is Unique Perspectives on Our Town or Beauty in a Rundown Town. We wanted to capture unique perspectives of Johnsonburg, perspectives that people don't see every day.
We basically went around and tried to find like scenic views of Johnsonburg, and we went up the detour by Wilmot and Pontiac and climbed up on the hill up there and tried to get some good views. And we went up by the old airport where Laurel Hill Cemetery is, and we took a few pictures up there. And we went down by the railroad tracks, by the flats, and tried to film the trains and stuff because, you know, it was a pretty important part. And the Armstrong Hotel used to be right there, and the Johnsonburg Hotel is right across from there. So I figured that was a pretty important part to film.
We tried to get a long shot of Market Street from the north end of it to just try to get the whole view of it. So we have the post office in there and then the trees lining the street. In our footage of Market Street and then of Center Street going through the paper mill, we just tried to capture the idea of people traveling. The alley was just another one of those things where we were trying to capture the uniqueness of our town. We climbed a fire escape for that one, and so we have a long shot of the alley from the fire escape, and actually from there we have a shot going up the avenues from Bridge Street.
The funeral home called Ferragine's, it used to be a mansion. We thought that that'd be nice to get a nice picture of that and find, you know, like beauty in the houses. And then we went and took a picture of the Catholic church, and, you know, it has a lot of nice architecture going on and everything.
Our shot from the top of Clarion Heights was actually really neat because it added to the idea of traveling. It was perfect timing. Right when we got to the top, we saw a train coming through, so we had to hurry up and turn on the camera, and we got the train going through that area. You can see the whole town there, so it's neat to see everything in relation to everything else in our town.
Well, you know, every town has its drawbacks. You know, you just need to find the positive parts of your town, and that's what we found.
I'm Shane Lawner, and I did my video about the Johnsonburg Knothole Recreational Park. The park consists of the Johnsonburg Knothole, which was developed in 1948 by a group of individuals who wanted to start a youth baseball program in the Johnsonburg area. It is now 60 years old. We're in our 60th year. The park consists of 3 baseball fields, and we play baseball and softball on these fields. During the springtime, the high school plays high school baseball and high school softball, and during the summer we play Little League and Knothole softball. And during the fall, we also have a Shamrock midget football practice on our field as well. Also on the field, there's a basketball court and a walking track. Where the baseball field is located now, the Rolfe Tannery originally was on that site, and also the log yard for the paper mill. The Knothole Association is made up of a board of directors of 15 members, and we are self-sustaining. We don't get any funds from the local taxpayers. We solicit from local businesses and also from fundraisers we do throughout the year. The concession stand was recently developed. A couple years ago we built it. Our walking track is L.V. Gregory Memorial Walk Track, and for every 2.5 laps equals 1 mile. Johnsonburg is a very small community. We're a little under 4,000 people live here in town. Close-knit. Everyone gets along great. You know your neighbors. Everyone knows everyone, good and the bad. It's a great community to raise your children. I plan on staying here the rest of my life. The crime rate is very low here. It's a great little place to raise children and retire in.
My name is Alfred Marone, and I took pictures of the churches in Johnsonburg. I took pictures of the Holy Rosary Catholic Church, outside and inside, and I think it was built around 1901. It's remodeled from what it used to be, but it's a nice-looking church. I took pictures of the Baptist church, and one of the workers let me in, and I think it's a beautiful church. I took pictures of the Methodist church, and it's the same as all the other churches, the way it's set up. St. John's Lutheran Church, they got nice stained windows. I've been to these churches before for funerals. They're all kept clean, real clean. They're all pretty, yeah, inside and out. I've been here all my life, and I've seen many changes. Businesses come and go. I'm at the age now where I wouldn't move out. Johnsburg is a good town, and if people want to come here, I'd advise them. People are friendly. It's only a small rural town, but everybody who lived here, they're still here. Most of them, anyhow.
I'm Stephanie Disler, and I've done my video on some of the establishments in the Johnsonburg Community Center. The Flemish House is on the first floor, and it was the original business, started 2.5 years ago. And it's mainly to give back to the town some sort of a cultural venue, showcasing local Pennsylvania Wild storied artists, and then also national artists that I do bring in. With the featured artists, I show the featured artists. Show, of course, me working, which I do every single day there, you know, sitting there and kind of tool away, making either wire work, fiber work, do a lot of bead work, and then also bringing classes, you know, so people come in and I teach and other people teach. The farmers market was started last year, and we've been doing really well. We have at least 6 or 7 main vendors. I'm the manager of the market, and I want to not only feature the farmers at the farmers market, but also musicians, artists, a lot of indie artists to come in and just set up, even plein air, if people want to come in and paint, you know, and just be there for exposure. Bill Warmbrodt has a business called Northern Exposure. He has his framing, which has the matting, of course, and the woods that he uses, and they're from Pennsylvania. And he does photography himself, and he'll go out and take some absolutely phenomenal shots. He has a wonderful setup, and I have him on film doing more or less picking out mats and the framing corners, you know, and looking what would work with a piece that he has done. Johnsonburg is a beautiful, picturesque town that still has a lot of its original passion and drive to continue what was started. And you can come in and you can get along with anyone right off the street, and really they will tell you over a cup of coffee, you know, what their family is about, and, you know, and have that bond with you right away. I mean, you'll see that in our people, very friendly.
Hi, my name is Kurt Brakey, and I did my video on the athletic facilities here in Johnsonburg. We're very proud of our track and field facility complex. In Johnsonburg, our track was completed under the recent renovations at the high school. It's an all-weather surface, 6 lanes. It's used by the high school, and at night many people walk the track, and so it's used by community members. We also have a full concession stand located on the track. A modern weight room facility is also located where community members can also access that. We've recently refurbished 3 tennis courts, and we have a fine tennis team at Johnsonburg that use these courts, and also the community has access to those courts. While I was videoing, the Throwers Club, which practice frequently in Johnsonburg, were out working out. They participate regularly throwing the discus and the shot put and the javelin. Johnsonburg High School has been very successful in the throwing events at state track meet. We have recently had a 2-time state medalist, state finalist in the discus. A memorial field is a focal point in Johnsonburg. I think we have one of the nicest football facilities in the area. The field was, in the early 1900s, was actually a lake. In 1918, they received a grant from the existing paper mill to construct the field. I can't necessarily 100% confirm this fact, but I had heard that our bleachers were actually purchased from Penn State University. Back in the early 1920s. We play varsity football here, junior high football. We play our varsity soccer games here. It's a great history to our field. Coming out of the tunnel on a Friday night is one of the most thrilling things a young athlete can do. I've lived in Johnsonburg all my life. I'm a school teacher here, and I graduated from Johnsonburg High School. I played athletics here. I've coached here. I have been the athletic director here. There's real good people in Johnsonburg. There's a lot of pride here, and we're very proud of our community and growing up here. Not a whole lot of places I'd rather be.
My name is Cheryl Lahner.
And I'm Don Lahner.
We did our video about the glacier rocks in our backyard. We live on Dill Hill in Johnsonburg, and in our backyard is a large deposit of glacial rocks. And from history, what we read about is we may be the most southern point of the ancient ice age. It might be where it ended. And what's interesting about them is the back in the 1880s and the 1890s, the rocks were cut by stonemasons, and they were used for various buildings. And the most interesting part is some of the stones were used on an old railroad bridge in Harrisburg. We believe it's the old Pennsylvania Railroad Bridge. And we are able to go up into our backyard and find tools that they have left.
The rocks are big, and if you climb up through them, you can see where parts have been chiseled out, where there's actually steps chiseled right into the rocks. And there's a lot of the rocks they didn't take are still laying there, big piles of rocks. So we would take a metal detector up there and go through it, and we'd find chisels and wire ropes and chains and all kinds of tools.
We were always told that maybe if we dig, the rocks are underneath and we won't be able to put in a foundation, but they ended right in our backyard. So we have rocks that are larger than our home in our backyard.
Over the years, they've been named. I don't know them all, but there's Ridge Rock and Giant Rock and Lincoln Rock and Step Rock. We always tell people the rocks are free to take. If you want one, come and get it. You can take it home with you if you want.
There's a cave up in the rocks that I've never been in. And then one of the other rocks, if you can crawl through this one narrow opening, we were always told there were some Indian markings up there, but we weren't sure if they're ancient or someone just painted them. I love to live in Johnsonburg. I love the small town. It's a wonderful place to raise a family. You know, it's very children-oriented and a lot of strong family ties, so that's what I like about it.
I like living in Johnsonburg. I was born and raised here. I went to school here. I met my wife here. I've raised my family here. I enjoy it.
We really love Johnsonburg.
Yeah, we do.
And that's our town, Johnsonburg. A look at Johnsonburg, Pennsylvania through the eyes of the people of Johnsonburg. Support for our town, Johnsonburg comes from Domtar Corporation's Johnsonburg Paper Mill, an industry leader since 1888 with a dedicated workforce producing environmentally and socially responsible paper products. Domtar serves the local community and businesses around the world from Elk County, Pennsylvania. From the Area Transportation Authority, providing reliable and safe public transit to riders across 6 counties, serving senior citizens, commuters, and the disabled, and stimulating business throughout the region. ATA, rural transportation for Johnsonburg and beyond. Additional support comes from the members of WPSU.